Hello, everyone. My name is Natasha Davis. I am doing my interview on one of my clients. Her name is Jasmine Fitzpatrick. The reason why I selected this client to complete this assignment was to understand her perspective. I know her perspective a lot. To me, is very interesting. So I'll go ahead and proceed. My client is a 29-year-old female who is African American, and she is part of the DDD population. And this population is all for developmental disability. However, she does not have any intellectual disability. Jasmine, she actually lives in a group home setting. She is diagnosed with cerebral palsy and has a physical disability. She sees the world from her perspective as an observer of life. She has a difficulties functioning, function to shift her perspective, as she is more internal versus temporal. Jasmine requires a nurse's aide to assist her with all her ADLs, and which is changing, bathing, because her disability has altered her lifestyle. She wanted to live her entire life focused. Well, she had to live her entire life focused on her care needs. Jasmine actually graduated high school and with honors, and decided to pursue her associate's degree in counseling. She was actually inducted last year to the National Honor Society of the college that she does attend. Jasmine tends to use her mind in creative ways, and which has allowed her to become more open-minded. Jasmine's spiritual journey began at an early age. She has expressed emotional suffering her entire life because she could not walk and or needed someone to take care of her. She has always expressed that she always wanted to be an able-bodied person. An able-bodied person, and her definition, is someone that is able to walk and someone to take care of themselves. Unfortunately, Jasmine does not have any physical strength other than her upper extremities, which is her arms. She also expressed how her physical disability impacted her entire life due to being unable to take care of herself. The spiritual reframing can be a powerful intervention. As suggested earlier, is the midst of material difficulties. She offers forget superseding metaphysical reality. So whenever she does have some type of troubles or lose sight of her spiritual truth, she gives hope and meaning to help others to adore her trials and her respective through hardship. Through Jasmine's suffering, she has found ways to cope, and through coping, she has discovered her spiritual awakening. Jasmine is not religious. However, she grew up in a Christian Baptist household. She expressed she does not like to date because of her disability. However, she is attracted to women. As a Baptist, she always felt she was going against God and would be judged based off of her sexual orientation. According to the African American Baptist Church doctrine, has historically been conservative with regard to the role of women in the church and the home regarding their homosexuality. Jasmine has always thought there was just too many restrictions in her life already due to her disability. So she couldn't live life according to her religion. Jasmine is more spiritual in her approaches in life and practice spiritual techniques such as guided meditation. She uses crystals and listens to music for healing. Jasmine's spiritual healing is electric and inclusive, really described by broad definition. So she likes to feel the energy of healing as she goes through her life of suffering, of not being able to walk. I know she expressed on a number of number of occasions of her disability and how it made her feel whenever she did come across different people. Now, for me, I am learning as this situation or through Jasmine's interview, I've learned to think critically. As she stated in the beginning of the interview, she's able to see how things unfold by sitting back and watch everyone's thought process whenever there's handling a situation. So she's helped me to understand and think critically from a different angle of perceptions. As a professional growth in practice, I've become more empathetic and understanding people in a DDD population, more so than anybody, in a sense of understanding that everyone has their own story, the reasons why things are the way they are. I've become an active listener to understand and become patient because, how can I say, patience itself to me is very challenging because I do have anxiety, but I'm learning to be patient, and as I am applying patience into my own practice of myself and self-care. So I've definitely grown a lot in patience and advocate. I'm able to advocate for these clients and understanding that, their situation, what they were born in, a lot of times, or even accidents. A lot of people in the DDD population or DID population, they can either originally be born from it or something happened traumatically in their lives is the reason why they're part of this population. But I've learned that the population in this field is very broad and complex in a sense. So as a professional, I'm definitely able to advocate as I'm learning. And then in the sense of Jasmine, advocate for her needs. I know that she thinks that her body is nothing, and she uses majority of her mind. But advocating for her, letting her, and also to counseling her, let her know that her body is something, her needs is something. Because I know that the staff with her is basically her body. She is basically the mind, unfortunately. Cultural competence. I am learning as a professional cultural competence and understanding different cultures and the way people think on different levels. It is just so complex. I'm learning to process information by understanding the culture. And as Jasmine she's a Baptist, in a sense. I understand how conservative the Baptist religion and people of the Baptist church can be, especially the African American community. But things are changing, it seems. But having cultural competence to understand how hard it was to for her to come out of her family, that she was attracted to women, Of course, women are her caregivers, majority of them. So it's quite interesting to learn that aspect of a person with a physical disability and how they can be attracted or sexually attracted to other sexes. So it's very interesting in how she perceived herself as someone doing something completely against her religion, and how strict her religion can be in a sense. So culturally competence, just understanding how conservative Baptist religion is, and how she can really, how can I say, go against the religion and just become very spiritual, and understanding that this is her situation. She can't abide by the rules of the Baptist religion and what they believe in. So this is something for her, and understanding that she is really going against her religion. However, she is spiritual in the sense of practicing. And she also stated to me previously, like, she also wondered why God made her this way. She didn't understand why. I know she expressed to me that she died when she was first born, in a sense. So when she came back alive, her family basically had a hard time taking care of her, and she explains her experiences with her mother, and the traumatic experiences with her mother. But how when she left her mother, she was able to see life from a different perspective. So it was good to hear her side of the story and understanding why she actually is alive. And giving herself meaningfulness in her spiritual journey. For Jasmine, her micro level is usually her family members, her caregivers, her peers, people of the DDD population. These are people that take care of her, and the caregivers. They spend a lot of time with her, caring for her, changing her because she's in a wheelchair. And then her family, the ones that give her a lot of support, mentally and emotional support. Even though her family is majority Baptist, Jasmine still, she doesn't consider herself religious, but spiritual in a sense, but she does have a background of Baptist. The Meso-Anese in her population is the DDD regulations, the policies and procedures, and also to the organization that she lives in currently she lives in a residential group home. So, and then the political aspect of the group home. And then also she's also affiliated with college. She goes to community college, a local community college. So she also has the institution of learning through college that also affects her in her population. The macro level, unfortunately, is society and the social economic status. She receives Social Security as her income, and she is majority on a lower scale of the social economical status. But for the most part, here's my references. I'm sorry. But for the most part with Jasmine, I'm sorry. I'm just reviewing. So for the most part with Jasmine, I know she's found meaning in her life just by simply going to school, getting her education, and want to be inspiration to other people. I know she's done a number of motivational speaks, presentations, and she has also been a advocate for the people of developmental disabilities. her goals in her life is to become a counselor